They say breed the best to the best and hope for the best.
Vekoma broke well on the outside and is
But you don't expect to get speed like this.
It is Vekoma, the one to catch. Vekoma has a 5-length lead in this Grade 1 corner. Inside, Vekoma continues to battle on down at the rail. It is Vekoma who's going to win the Met Mile.
Dan Illman, Mike Beer at a windy Belmont Park for Belmont Stakes Week coverage on DRFTV. Race number 11 on Friday is the Intercontinental, and it's a very good field of sprinters, fillies and mares. It's a Grade 3. They're going 6 furlongs this year on the wider turf. You don't like them at 6.
Yeah, I'm a little annoyed that they cut this race back from 7 to 6. On the other hand, you can't really argue with the field it pulled. Dan, 13 have entered this race. It feels like a lot of different horses can win. It's a very good betting race.
It is a fantastic betting race, and we're going to take a look at the field right now. Of course, our coverage all Belmont Stakes Week long is presented by our friends at Spendthrift. You can make a case for 7 or 8 horses in this race, spread in multiple race wagers.
Yeah, either spread or find someone you like at a price and just pound it, Dan, and maybe take a chance along those lines. It all depends on how you look at the race. A lot of different horses can win here. Trips going to be very important,
especially at the short and 3/4 of a mile distance. One good thing about Robin Sparkles, as we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, is we pretty much know where she's going to be given a good break, and that's going to be out on the lead. She looked good in her seasonal reappearance, although that race was off turf. She's very fast from the gate.
Yeah, she's got a lot of speed. I expect her to just come out of there running and try to make the front. We'll see how far she can take them. It's a very tough spot for her, but she is second off the layoff and getting back to her preferred surface.
I'm a fan of the number 1 Star Divine, and I think she's going to move forward off her seasonal debut at Keeneland. We're going to take a look at that race right now. She finishes second in her first starts in Saratoga. She showed good tactical speed. She ran second to Campanelli, who's pretty good.
Yeah, the horse that wins the race, you can see there, is just much the best. I thought Star Divine, all in all, ran pretty well. It was about an 8-month layoff there. She did get a good trip, sort of sat up close, saving ground. She came clear at a perfect time in the stretch. She was just no match for the winner. I thought all in all, she ran really well in there. New buyer top for her. She's one of the horses I feel like benefits from this race being 6 rather than 7.
Race has come back really good as well. The 4th place finisher from the video we just showed you returned to run second in the Unbridled Sydney Stakes at Churchill Downs with a 93 buyer speed figure. The number 2 is The Grass is Blue, and she's going to try the grass, and maybe the grass will be greener for The Grass is Blue for trainer Graham Motion. She certainly has the pedigree for it.
Yeah, she's bred for turf. It's interesting that this is going to be the first time she gets on the surface. Chad Brown didn't seem that interested when he had her and running her on the turf. The flip side, Dan, along with the pedigree for this horse is, it feels like shorter distances might just be better for her. 3 of her 4 career wins have come sprinting. Those are dirt races, but she's bred for turf. I thought she looked really good off the layoff last time, winning for Graham Motion. This horse is interesting.
That was an off-turf race down at Pimlico on May the 14th over sloppy going, but The Grass is Blue really finished it off very, very well. And again, this is that Soaring Softly family. The dam won on turf. She's kin to 3 turf winners. The Grass is Blue should handle the surface. The question is whether she's good enough as the planes head overhead at beautiful Belmont Park to try to drown us out. Maybe they're the smartest people in the place. The 3 is the Lady Edith. Lady Edith scored last time out at Turfway Park over a synthetic surface. Mike, I don't know. I think this horse is okay. She sold for $370,000 after her most recent victory, and she's now in the Christophe Clement barn.
Yeah, it's a trainer switch to a red-hot barn here. This is another horse who I think benefits from this race being 6 rather than 7. She did look pretty good winning the last time we saw her on a different surface from well off the pace. She might have something to run at here, though, Dan. She is a stakes winner sprinting on the grass, so she won that race at a big price.
Big pace would help her out, but she's going to need a little bit of racing luck. The 7th place finisher from that last race returned to run second with a 93 buyer on turf at Keeneland. The number 4 up next is Toby's Heart. Toby's Heart just scored the Unbridled Sydney race we talked about before at Churchill Downs. It was her second start off the layoff. It was nice to see her run that fast race. A 94 buyer. I think she's at her best when you take her back, make one run. She's very, very consistent. This is a step up.
Yeah, you want to sit back with this horse, you're right, and make a run with her. When she lost at Santa Anita in that Grade 2 as the favorite, I think she might have just been a little bit too close to the pace that day. Last time they rode her more along the lines of how she likes to be ridden. She was really good winning that race. She's just overall, Dan, a really, really good turf sprinter. 6 furlongs is a great distance for her.
I think it's too early to say whether the number 5 Jouster wants to go longer. True, she is a Grade 2 winner going a mile, but they cut her all the way back last time out at Keeneland, and she lost all chance at the start.
Yeah, she's a horse who, prior to that had been showing showing some speed in her longer races, coming out of the gate there in that Giants Causeway, bumped, steadied between horses at the start, wound up last somehow. She actually didn't even run that poorly when all was said and done. She was never a threat in there, but she didn't really have a chance either. I could see giving her one more chance sprinting in a race like this, Dan, but boy, is she going to need her very best against this field.
The speed, Robin Sparkles, dirt to turf has worked well for her in her career. What happened in her most recent race, the Floral Park? Her most recent race on turf, 2 starts back.
Yeah.
She was the favorite. She didn't run well. One thing that worries me is if you look at her past performances, she doesn't seem to perform as well without Lasix as she does with it, and she has to run without Lasix on Friday.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. She also is a horse who I just feel like has to be on the early lead. If she doesn't get there, she's just not as good. To me, she's run some fast races. I think it does make her dangerous because if she makes the front, I guess she could take him a long way. I still feel like races like this might just be a little too tough for her.
Caravel, the number 7, can be close to the pace as well, and she's a crack turf sprinter at her best. She sold for $500,000 in November when her first start for the Brad Cox barn. They found a great spot for her at Turfway over the synthetic surface. And last time out, they ran her against the boys at Churchill Downs. She didn't run badly at all. It was a tough field. The runner-up came back to win a graded race at Santa with a 98 buyer.
Yeah, she was in a really tough race last time. I guess she ran fine. Got a little tired at the end of that race. Just wasn't good enough against a field like that one. She's a better fit in a race like this. She's got some fast races on the go back. I can't say that I love, any of her last 4 or 5 starts, Dan. We'll see if she can rebound.
Trainer Tom Morley has a good eye for talent, and the number 8 Assertive Style was claimed for $80,000 2 starts back. They ran her in the grade 3 Vagrancy on dirt first off the claim. She earned a graded stakes placing. Very valuable for her broodmare prospects down the road. Turf, I don't think it's going to be a problem for her, but she has to improve. This is a big hiking class.
It's a really tough spot. You've already mentioned the good job that Tom Morley does off of claims. He tends to pick out the right ones and then he improves them. He's going to switch this horse back to turf where she's run okay, but she hasn't run a race that's going to beat this field.
Throw out the race over the testing going at Kentucky Downs where she had to go 6.5 furlongs and the 9 Illegal Smile just seems like she runs hard each and every time, as she did in this race at Keeneland, her one and only start this year for trainer Wesley Ward. Now she got a beautiful trip and ride from Arad Ortiz. She was able to maintain forward position inside, shot up the rail, and she drew clear. She finished well.
Yeah, she really did. She looked good winning that race. That's 2 wins in a row for this filly sprinting on turf and in a couple of races separated by layoffs. They're the 2 best races of her career, Dan. We'll see if she can keep it going here against a much tougher field. I did like her race last time. She got an absolute perfect trip.
Perfect trip. May not get that trip here, but she does have tactical speed, draws outside some of the other speeds, and might be in with a big chance turning into the stretch. Flower Point cuts back for the great Shug McGahee. It'll be the 3rd start of the form cycle. Now, this horse has one going 7 in the past. 6 might be a little bit sharp, although way back in the day for John Sadler, she won going 5.5. She needs pace and trip luck.
All about whether she gets the right setup in here. She is good enough to close this field down if she catches some pace and a clean trip into it. She's a horse who I think really is disappointed that this race is 6 now. She would have been really tough at 7.
Mark Cassey sends out the number 11, Miss Majorette. Dylan Davis takes the mount. Dylan was on for the most recent start. That was the license fee. Now, she was beaten by Miss J. McKay, who's also in this race, but she had every reason to need one. It was her first race since November.
It was off the layoff for her. She did well to be 2nd. She paired up her buyer top that she had earned last November, went 4th in the autumn days. Another horse, she's in good form right now, it seems like, and she does have forward to go. She's got to improve.
The distance is going to be a question for the 12 Nevesian Sunrise, but there's one thing to consider. Chad Brown historically does very well cutting back horses from routes to sprints, and he thinks Nevesian Sunrise can sprint. Now, last time out going a mile at Keeneland, she just was able to get right to the lead in that race. We're taking a look at it now, and she just set the easiest fractions.
Yeah, she didn't take any pressure on the lead. She still ran well within the context of that race, though, Dan. It was a pretty strong allowance field, as you typically get at Keeneland. She won the race very easily. I don't know about this cutback for her. I do think she has a lot of talent.
Miss Jane McKay is a very talented Maryland bred. Always did good work for trainer Cal Lynch, but has picked it up even for Christophe Clement. She's won 3 out of her last 4 turf starts, including this victory in the license fee over Miss Majorette. She showed good tactical speed. She earned a big buyer's speed figure. Mike, 6 is no problem.
No.
What do you think of these outside posts going turf sprints at Belmont?
I'm not going to worry about the outside draw for her. She's got another horse who has really good tactical speed, but if they get away from her early, that's not going to bother her either because she can sit and make one run. She was super impressive winning last time, just sitting right up on the pace. You've mentioned 3 of her last 4 turf sprints are wins. The only time she lost, she got a terrible trip at Gulfstream Park going 5. This filly's in great form right now.
Raging form right now for Miss J. McKay. Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel. Lots of great Belmont Stakes Week content presented by our friends at Spendthrift. Top pick time, where are you going?
I'm going to take the horse that we just talked about last, Dan, Miss J. McKay. She has the outside post to overcome. I really like her recent form, and I think Clement made the right decision to come right back in this race. She fits very well in here.
I'm using her. I want to give a Legal Smile another chance. I usually don't like playing horses coming off perfect trips. I just love her tactical speed. She's in very good form, and she did beat a couple of minor last out winners last time out at Keeneland. It's the Intercontinental. It might be the best betting race on the Friday card at Belmont Park. Good luck.